just can't shake some clients. Here we are, back to Bill's place. He's telling me he's having some trouble with his big red international truck. Bill and I discussed this truck last year, and we never got around to doing anything with it. You know, I've always liked it from the minute I saw it. It's just one of those things, like what guy doesn't like a big old truck?
I've been trying to sell it and not really had any luck. I love it a lot. Nobody else seems to think it's that cool. These 1953 survivors are so rare. They're always beat up, torn up, wrecked. And when I saw this, I went, oh my gosh, look how original this darn thing is. And I guess I'm kind of hooked on the international heavy-duty name, and I don't understand why people aren't as enthusiastic as I am. I thought it would sell the first day.
You just need someone just like you,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know, I love the huge factor of the whole thing. It's got kind of a Mad Max Road Warrior feel to it, but maybe that's a turnoff to some folks.
Well, when I found this, I was so excited. Look at the cab, Ian. It's cherry. I mean, original cherry. You just don't find it.
That's right, it's
And,
weathered, but...
you know, the doors, everything works perfect. Look at the interior.
You know, sometimes when you have something that's so close to your heart, your passion, it's kind of hard to see how things are from the outside. Some people may be a little bit put off by the sheer amount of spider webs. You know, it looks a little like a haunted house in there. I think it needs some kind of cosmetic upgrade, you know, like the typical used car salesman. He's gonna freshen it up, and I think we can move it. First thing I want to do is get this rig back to the shop. You know, I want to tear off all that heavy metal, get it down to a blank slate, and see what we're dealing with. I know you're both very concerned with quality control, etc., but I've got a bunch of stuff to do. We don't even need any debate at this point. I don't want to hear it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do back here 100%. What I do know is the heavy stuff, this massive trailer hitch, doesn't need it. Doesn't need this trailer hitch, and it doesn't need that headache rack. My goal is to get all of this baggage off the rear of the truck. You know, just get it down to the chassis, and then I can build from there. Hi-ya! And this is a really heavy, filthy job. But come on, who doesn't like cutting stuff up? Change is tough. You know, these dogs love cars, and all they hear is destruction. So for my next act, I'll remove an exhaust pipe. This exhaust has to go. It's not fitting my vision of the final outcome. That one ain't going in the trash. Excuse me. Now we're going on to the thing I'm looking most forward to getting rid of. This headache rack is no bueno. Winner! The truck is looking good. It's much lighter feeling. This is the blank slate I saw from the start. Now the cab is really showing itself off. This is awesome. You know, that big rack was hiding all this cool sheet metal, and fortunately, protected it. No dents, no rust. You know, this truck has tons of possibility. It's looking good, and I got some ideas brewing. Well, nothing starts a good project like a good treasure hunt.
When I collected all this stuff, you know, I thought, oh, well, I can use this for that, or pretty specific about it. Well, Ian, I mean, he's different. And I don't even ask him what he's gonna do. Don't wanna know what he's gonna do. Just wanna watch.
Oh, you got bigger sheets under here. Nice little mouse nest, look at this. I know there's gonna be a large area in the bed of this truck that we're gonna have to fill in. So these big metal sheets are gonna be exactly what I need. Like a diamond in the rough. Nothing says truck like diamond plate, so I think it's a good start for, you know, sheathing materials. Let's see what else we can find. I know this rack here, and I know you got some stuff. Mainly what I'm interested in is these long lengths of tubing. Any project's gonna need some structure, so this is heavy truck stuff. If you're not married to them, I can use them.
All this stuff is available.
Wait a second, you got bed frames here.
Got bed frames.
I need a bed frame. I have a mattress and a box spring.
You're in the right spot.
I just bought a new place and I pretty much need everything. So Bill's got these 2 bed frames, so I'm in luck. You think it'll do a queen size?
I think it's adjustable.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, look at these steps. What are these from?
Those are, I don't know what they're from.
I know what they're for. Look at that.
Yeah.
You got a whole truck sitting here. It's just in pieces.
Ian kind of looked around and he said, oh, you got this, you got that. You got almost enough for the build. I didn't think I had that much junk laying around here.
What's that from?
I don't remember.
Typical. You know, we've just scratched the surface of Bill's treasure. You know, many a project has been fueled by the treasures of this wild land. Bill's upper 40 has got some stuff. In addition to the piles of stuff, Bill has a couple storage containers as well. Behind door number 1, I find these cool old cabinets. And the thing is, I'm not counting anything out yet. We're looking at all the potential. We are merely priming the palette of potential. So everything's going to the shop. Well, we've got quite an assortment of goodness, you know, between the metal, the diamond plate, shopping cart rack, 2 cabinets. We're on a roll. I'll get back to the lab and start configuring.
I'm going to be very excited to watch this project and see what he does.
Mush! Mush!
He's a one of a kind.
We got this. This is a really nice change of pace from the other projects I've been working on lately. Instead of building this full custom fantasy show car, I'm challenged to just bring up the natural look of this old truck. I did yank that bumper off the other truck, and I also got some good rusty steel, all that I could find. That front grille, just like the rear end, is just way overkill. I'd really like to show off the international styling instead of this big, angry-looking death bumper. First task at hand is to get rid of this massive front bumper. Yeah! Move it, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. This bumper is really heavy. You know, I'm used to sacrificing for my projects, but I don't want to lose a toe if this bumper comes crashing down. Watch the paint. Well, now it's starting to look a little more like a vintage truck, not some road menace. The stock height on that truck, the frames were right here, which is cool, it makes sense, but I'd like to see it a little bit lower. The whole idea here is to make the truck appear closer to the ground. This international bumper could work with some modifications, but you know, I just want to explore the other options, you know, maybe just do something a little more full custom. This still just looks way like the utility bumper. What if I took this and just turned it? Yeah, that's cool. Brings it down a little, looks lightweight. It actually makes the fenders look really exaggerated now, which is something I wasn't expecting. But so far, my assistants aren't impressed. I get you can't just slap a tube on the front of a truck and call it a bumper. I mean, come on, they should know by now. I'm not gonna just stop here. Make that angle like that. The old persuader. Yeah, so you can see, it's gotta come back just a bit more. Just cut right through that and trim it a little more. Not only do the bumper ends need to match the front of the truck, they need to match the other side of the bumper so that it's symmetrical. This is the process of trial and error. You just keep cutting and bending until the angle's right. It's looking good to me, sir. It's gonna be fine. Next step of fabrication is to trim off the bumper end. As strange as it seems, this random piece of bent aluminum is gonna be the gauge. I mean, I seriously just picked this up out of the corner. You need to be zen, in tune with the universe and beyond, to allow yourself to be open to this happy accident thing, you know? Or sometimes maybe you just find a piece of bent molding in the corner and it seems to work. That's the angle of the dangle. You saw it, man. Don't act like it's a surprise. So there's something in this area that I'm really thinking about. See how this and this, it's like it needs something here. Fortunately, Bill's place isn't too far from the shop. I want to take another look at his pipe rack and found some really good square stainless steel tube that I think I can make work. It's exactly what it needed. It's subtle, but it helps. Get the end caps on and it really finishes it off. But right now it's conservative. You can see that's a clean bumper. I want this whole truck to come together as one piece, so for now it's a work in progress. I got some other ideas that are really going to help with the look of the front end. The primary factor in creating this visor is how the material will bend without any tooling. I want a nice formed shape, and that's why I'm using this soft but very rigid plastic as a template. That'll work. I have a sheet of aluminum that will be just the right call for this visor. This is a reasonably difficult shape to make simply because it's symmetrical. The different PVC sizes are helping me to try to form the shape I'm looking for. Just like the top corner of that cap, you see it's a dome, and it's going to require a dome shape to turn that corner. This is an anything goes process. I don't know what result will be offered. I'm just going for it. It's just high spot right there. The hardest part about this is the symmetry. As each fold comes down, they have to look the same. And from the front of the truck, you don't want it to be doing the roller coaster. You want it to look right. It's making the visor appear way more crooked than it is because the light set is on this side of the roof. The biggest problem I was having getting this visor equal left and right was that as much as I put it on the table and envisioned it, every time it went on the truck, it looked like it was off to the side. I just couldn't figure it out until I really studied the placement of the marker lights, and they're over here. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start trimming this one and pulling it down. So those 2 points are fixed. I'm just gonna pull this down to match. So there you have it, one full custom visor. This is exactly what I was hoping to see. It took that big arched up window and makes it look a little more aggressive. This looks like it could just be a little more graceful in that this line will probably just come up like that. Maybe in the end I'll put a little center bracket on it, but right now that's perfect. We got other things to deal with.
Aha! So you have been working.
Yeah, a couple revisions, nothing too major, but change it up a little bit.
Wow.
Surprise, surprise.
I love the stance. It looks like you lowered it, how much?
It's gotta be 3 or 4 inches, I forgot.
Yeah, because it was way above the tire. I love that old truck.
Yeah.
And you've just made it better.
Glad to see Bill react so positively. We literally had no discussion as to what I was gonna do.
This is like all your projects. You do them and then I want to keep them. The idea was to sell this.
I'm hearing whisperings from Bill about maybe trying to hold on to this thing, The big plan was to sell it, but now it looks so good, maybe he's buying. I don't know, maybe it's gonna stay home.
I got a present for you for this.
Right on.
It'll help the look of your stance.
Uh-huh.
And let me show you.
Cool. This is the kind of thing that really just explains this car or truck addiction perfectly. Oh, wow, these are cool. These are perfect. Yes,
Just a
Alcoves.
little bling.
Good deal. You can't just stop halfway, right? And Bill's a man with a passion. He steps up every time and brings the good stuff.
These are 22.5 rims, but the tires are a little smaller. They're for a motorhome, actually. I'm working on something for the back, but I'm not gonna share that yet. Want to get them on there?
Yeah, for sure. Mostly what this does is just puts a more modern look. And the truck's lowered, those big truck wheels, they just look stuffed in there. So it goes from like this weird pudgy cartoon look to more like a performance vehicle. Ever since I found these gems up on Bill's Hill, I've had visions of grandeur forming in my head. So the idea is just put some walls on this thing and just wing it.
Okay.
We've got that and those.
Okay.
And how it looks, it will be determined as it develops.
All right.
This is a match made in heaven. Now all that's left is to put it all together.
So we're just gonna come in here and draw a line. We're gonna get rid of this whole piece of tubing, and it'll start new with our shopping cart corral.
I think so. Every time you go to the supermarket from now on, you're gonna be thinking,
Yeah.
truck beds everywhere, full
Yeah.
of shopping carts.
Exactly.
Maybe you could start with a grinder on these things. And I'll just plasma cut through the sheet.
Okay.
And then we'll just pop each side off. So if you work on one side and I'll work on this side. This is the same mode of operation as the front of the truck. Get rid of the ugly and just make it better. Beyond the time-saving aspect of using these corrals, I think the finish of them actually is appropriate for this rustic look. Does that work for you?
It works.
I could see Dominic has turned the corner on this project. He's 100% on board with this concept, but of course, the #1 naysayer is always close by. He's never seen anything like this. Look at that. He's just like, what did I just see? Because it's a pickup truck, we're gonna have bed sides. I got this rusty steel plate and we're gonna trace it to fit, plasma cut it, and weld it on. As much as I like working alone, to get the thing finished, you need extra help. It doesn't mean I got a casting call. Very selective, only the elite. This round really looks good with the roundness of the truck, but then we'll take that square tube and we'll make that an element for all the trimmings, right from the front to the back.
Same as the front bumper.
Yeah, I think we'll just cover that. See, the cool factor of this concept is it's not just flat, it's dimensional. So you're seeing this round tube and backed up is a flat wall. So it really looks dimensional, as well as the color contrast. As crusty as it is, it's got a cool look. It's not looking like a cart corral anymore, is it?
No.
This is like a freaking work truck. There's still a few loose ends in this rear section, but we've made a ton of progress in establishing the cool look of this bed.
It's gonna turn into the perfect hot rod working man's farm truck.
So this old switcheroo with the shopping cart corral, you ain't seen nothing yet.
All right.
I'm going to Bill's tomorrow. We got a whole new pile of junk coming in. So basically went back to the original design. And I thought it needed more, but it didn't. So what I did was started building on the rear just to kind of take a rear 3/4 view. This is the bare bones of the operation. All of this is going to get sheeted back in. This is all just the fabrication to be super strong. And then to finish off the visual part of it, I'm going to put a small tailgate on it, maybe around this tall. Bill had a whole ton of this stainless steel angle iron, and it's too good to pass up. This tailgate needs to function like any other tailgate on a truck, but it's got to fit the style of what we've been building so far. I don't need it to fall all the way down. I'm going to want it to fall pretty much level, horizontal. Like any other truck, I need something else to hold the tailgate horizontal for loading and unloading. Fortunately, in Bill's pile of stuff, I spotted a crusty old chain. So, you can see that thing is aged to perfection. Sometimes you need a piece of chain that's been sitting in a puddle for 15 years. Today was the day. It's a trip. It's got a funky beat, and I can really bug out to it. All right, hopefully I learned how to measure. Man, that is one burly tailgate. It's just like every other old farm truck. You put one more piece of chain right there. Tailgate looks good. The last fabrication detail on the rear of this is to just sheath in this area below it where the license plate's gonna go. So weird how this works. That just did exactly what that side panel did yesterday. You're on a roll, you're trucking through it. I don't like it. Right from the start, I was thinking that this was just gonna have a plate covering it so you wouldn't see the rear suspension, and as soon as it was in place, all the plans changed. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you got this kind of, very mechanical structure. You're seeing the mechanical stuff, and then you come in there with this, and there it is, it's just a big slab wall. It's hard to describe how one little piece can change, this entire rear look of the vehicle, but just in looking at it, it makes a perfect example. I can be, impulsive. I can be impulsive. Come back and this whole thing's cut apart because the license plate doesn't look right. The theme here is clearly less is more. I tore all that heavy metal off the truck trying to make this massive thing look a little bit lighter duty. truck looks better by the lack of extra stuff. All right, so next course of action is to get this cab looking a little bit better. Nothing wrong with Christmas, but the red and green kind of keeps it pigeonholed. This vinyl sticker, it worked well for its previous life, so I will bring out my laser gun and I'm gonna laser them right off. Wow, if this is what the truck looked like when he put the stickers on, that's pretty wild. Now that I'm pulling these stickers off, I never really paid any mind to it, but there is a painted sign under here. There's a texture of brush strokes. I see an S. This is like an excavation project. We found the owner. We found Ray Dennison. If he was around today, I'd like to have a little talk with him about what this truck's been through. That way he knew when he came out of the bar at night which truck was his. It's like, I think there is some advantage to having a logo on the side of like a working truck. I'm just not sure that this one is right for the truck specifically. This green stripe is not helping the truck in any way. I think bringing it back to just one color is the ticket. The whole plan here is minimalist, so I sanded off this green stripe and in doing so, hit bare metal. I'm just gonna take some spray cans and lay it on there. Hopefully the color works. Truck's really coming together. Every little thing helps. I got one more idea that I think is really gonna cement it. Scratch is big into vintage, period correct stuff, so this project is right up his alley.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
so
it.
nice.
Yeah. My idea for this was, I like some kind of sign on the door. I love the script. Where does orange truck come from? Was it like an orange grove in Florida or something?
So every time I would go somewhere, people would just walk up to me, hey, is that your orange truck outside?
It's like
so
a
I'm
gold
like,
car.
I just wrote orange truck on the side of it so everybody would know that that's orange truck.
Perfect.
Aren't you glad I drove it today?
Yeah. I mean, yours is orange. What about like old red?
It's like old red or old red.
I like old, like with the little
L and the
apostrophe, yeah. And I was thinking, I love this edge striping that you did on yours.
Yeah.
I definitely want that. Because before with the big grill, you didn't see this at all. So it's like, I love those little whiskers coming off.
Okay. There's all these like really nice accent lines here and here that should just be like highlighted a little bit. We have that belt line up there and stuff like this. And like you said, the whiskers here and here.
And also something that would be like a classy work truck. So you show up and you look respectable. It's not like all rockabilly'd out or anything.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't need to look like nonsense. It needs to look like a work truck.
My favorite thing is to work with other artists because if you try to instruct them, you're not going to get the maximum potential. So you got to let them roll their dice, do whatever they like, and then, kind of take it in. Do whatever you want. I got a couple errands to run. Could take all day. So I'm looking forward to what you do. Like I say, no demands, do your thing.
You don't want to talk about the...
Nope.
Okay.
I want to be surprised.
Artist freedom.
Yes. I'm looking forward to see how this pans out.
So right now I'm just kind of like brainstorming and then jotting down my ideas. I remember my uncles walking around with like a match in their mouth all the time. Maybe do the old and then the little mark to the side could be a match. I kind of like that, like a little blue tip match with some fire coming off of it. With this, I'm trying to make it look old. If I would have painted that solid, 30 years from now, it would have faded like that. It's so good to work with Ian because he just trusts me and I can just do whatever I want. The first time I met Ian, I interviewed for a job to work for him. We kind of always stayed in touch. We were around the corner from each other. So when he needed pinstriping work, I was there to help. A little maroon drop shadow here. So I wanted it to be darker than the body. It needed that pop, Oh wow, yeah, that looks way better. So I'm just gonna do little accents around these edges here. Von Dutch is the modern day pinstriper, that he basically invented that. Somebody had messed up a gas tank and they wanted him to just kind of like outline it and like hide all the scratches. He just became more and more known for doing that, and that's where pinstriping kind of came from.
This project's a bit different than my other ones simply because I didn't know what I had to do here. It would be way easy to go off the rails like I typically do, but fortunately I was able to keep it in check. If I drove it over here to Bill's, and there's one thing that Bill loves, it's old international trucks.
Wow, Ian, You've arrived.
Got a little change. Looking a little different than it did last time.
Woo! You're another miracle.
Old Red at your service. One surprise that Bill brought over was these back rims. They are massive. I love the aluminum rims, but then when you brought in those big super singles in the back, it's like race car stuff. I mean, looking at it in the shop, you don't even get the vibe until it's outside.
It looks like a big pickup truck.
Yeah. The thing is, I saw this truck in a completely different light than what was presented. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, love it. I got plans already. You know, with a very limited budget and short time frame, a couple key choices really transformed the rig. You know, the first day when I was just taking stuff, I didn't know if I was going to end up with like a lot of aluminum features on this or whatever, but you know, literally you see everything came off of the hill and it just kind of melded together.
Those shopping cart holders or whatever you call them, I thought when you were taking those, I thought, what in the world is he going to do with those? I made some comments about the shopping cart corrals, but they are absolutely perfect on there. Just a great, great job.
I know you're looking to get out the door and sell it, so.
That was the plan. Like all your projects you do, always fall in love with them. I think I'm gonna keep it for a while and cruise it. Why wouldn't I cruise it around? Look at it. I'm excited. Now, I'm gonna bring my wife down and see if she's excited.
I know, that was the kid. That was part of the deal from the start. But all we did was move the stuff from the top of the hill back down to the bottom.
Yeah. How could you not love that truck?
You got to drive this thing. It's the same truck, but it's way cooler. It actually has suspension now, so.
Well, I need some firewood. You wanna go with me and we'll pick it up?
Yeah.
You
cool
got
deal.
time?
Yeah, I got all day. That's what I
Okay.
do.
Let's
I hang
do it.
around. Been living out here on the ranch for almost 3 years now, and it occurred to me that every ranch needs a dedicated ranch truck. Something so that when you mosey into town, they know who's arriving. I've been collecting parts, I've been stashing parts, I've been shopping for parts, and I've been thinking of all that stuff, and it all starts with this little jewel. It's a classic piece of Americana. You know, here at Envisioning Central, we like to start off with projects that have a lot of missing parts. It really keeps the mind free to explore the possibilities. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, it doesn't look much like a ranch truck. And the only reason for that is because a good 70% of the vehicle is missing. That's not a concern for me. I've thought it all through. I've thought part of it through, and here we are. What could possibly go wrong? You know, I'm not one to give stuff away. This Model T has been hanging around for a bit, but I knew it had a ton of potential. What am I gonna do? Put in the old-fashioned engine and putt along at 30 miles an hour? Oh no, this is where it gets real good. I'll be right back. This must be what it feels like to be a Formula One driver, except, you know, in a Pinto. I mean, 2.3 liters of fury. You can just mash the pedal to the floor on this thing and not worry about it. It's like a go-kart, it's fun. A fine machine. I tell you, they don't make them like they used to. What we have here is a perfectly good, perfectly hot-wired Ford Pinto. And I was thinking, Model T had a 4-cylinder. This is a 4-cylinder Ford. Why the heck not? Ford engine in a Ford project. I just like to keep it that way on certain occasions. So if I could update my Model T from the factory brochure, I would order 2.3 liter with an automatic transmission. It's a perfect donor. I want it to look like an antique, you know? I don't want it to be a restoration. I want this power and ease of shifting with the Ford Pinto and automatic transmission. Sounds simple, you know, it's real easy to describe something, but this was never designed for anything with, say, 100 horsepower. So definitely have to upgrade the strength of the chassis, but the first thing is just the fitment of the engine. I know it's physically bigger than the original engine, and I gotta see how that's gonna work out. You know, in classic old school fashion, you're gonna wear what you got, right? If you only got one pair of shoes, you're getting them on somehow. In simplest terms, this is the classic shoehorn technique. You know, you hear it, wow, they must have shoehorned that engine into that car. Yes, literally. Heck yeah. See, now the motor mount is in that C channel. That's what I was going for. So I think the simplest solution is I made 4 of these tabs that fit inside this C of the chassis, so I can weld in there, and then the original motor mounts, the bolts go right through. I really want to keep the same formula for the transmission mount. I'm going to leave all the stock pieces in place and then attach it to the chassis. You can see is the original cross-member transmission mount from the Pinto. It's going to hang right on this surface. It'll get drilled through, and then this will sit right on top of that. And the little wrench comes in real handy with this. Put your little wrench on there, and you give it a pull. Well, the coolest factor of these Model Ts is back in the day, there were no roads, so everything was off-road. It's a perfect runabout, you know, just for getting into town and back. So what I did here was I set this plate on top of the frame, so that's just setting there like a cradle, and I set this side under the frame. So that way when I unbolt it, I can just drop it out and get rid of it. That is step 1 in the 500 steps of this simple project. We're making progress on the mechanical. I got some really cool ideas for this ranch buggy. I'm talking about the style. On to the good part. Notice anything different?
I see a lot different.
The thing with this is, you know, I need a ranch truck, right? You see what I'm driving. I want something with character. You know, when I show up at Carl's Hardware, everybody knows who's coming to town.
Yeah, this is rad.
You know, Alan is well versed in custom work and creativity. He works on the fly a lot like me, and I'm sure that he is not concerned with a venture into the unknown. Check out the Harley exhaust.
I love it. I love it.
I was going to use the Model T exhaust, and then I remembered I had these chopper fishtails.
Yeah.
So I just put it into a single. I used both tubes and put them together. You're a really talented fabricator, right? You got the paint skills, you got the bodywork skills. How's your carpentry?
I think I know what a square is.
Okay. Let's throw this on. I'll show you what I'm thinking. As usual, I like to loosely assemble all the pieces and then see how it fits together. You know, I wanted like a truck, but not like a pickup truck, like a van body with a roof that comes over, like a sea cab, but a wooden body.
A cab.
Let the envisioning begin.
So I think I see what you're saying.
Like a stagecoach, like a paddy wagon, but kind of a hot rod. You know, like something I would say like Mother's Pies on the side or something, you know, like a delivery truck.
I really don't see it yet.
I know it's pretty vague, but it's like a van, right? But it's like a sea cab, but it's like a delivery vehicle, but it's old-fashioned, but it's new.
I hear you, I see, but I don't see it in my head.
Fortunately,
but I love what I see. I love what I see.
I came up with an idea, the envisioning process, right? Forget about whatever fabrication it takes. Let's just talk concept for a moment.
Yes.
You know, I'm not one to tout my own merits, but this may be my greatest achievement of all time. The envisioning board, the full-size sketch pad, Da Vinci, Einstein, the greats. I'm standing on their shoulders and I feel that I've arrived. See how I jacked it up in the back with that rake? So that's kind of what I was thinking, like it would have that stance, you know, so it's not fully Model T. You know, a lot of times you'll see where it's like, you know, kind of like a that shape, right?
Right.
It kind of takes away from that nose down look.
It kind of does. It's almost like they kept the buggy look where the man stood there holding the reins.
Right, exactly. First step is to figure out the seat height. You don't want to be looking up over the windshield. Fortunately, Alan's about the same size as me, so he's the guinea pig. All right, it's all you.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, that's it, man. You're in the car. It's perfect. That's the height.
That's the height.
Yeah.
It feels comfortable.
You could theorize all day long about the look and proportion, or we can use Ian's envisioning board. That's a take. Take that drill, and right where your shoulder blade is, drill a hole right through. Perfect. Right where your knee is, you're bent. Now right where your ear is. Right where your nose is. Right where you'd like to be holding the steering wheel. Directly across from your belt buckle.
Belt buckle?
One for your pancreas.
Where's my pancreas? Is it right here? There we go.
Now, we have a clear and decisive layout.
Nice.
Perfect start.
So, it was the ear, right?
I don't know. Ian Markham? Yeah. Hey, all I said was I had a good idea and didn't say I had it all figured out. So if this is your ear and you would just be inside it.
So you can barely see you as you're driving.
Yeah, I just want to kind of be in it.
Seeing this opening, I just get this like 70s feel. I don't know why. I get this 70s feel. It's just, you know, now I'm starting to feel it now.
Look how tall it is.
It is tall.
That's a
It
freaking
is
tall
tall.
truck.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
You know, this is the process of refinement. You start with an idea and you just keep honing it. So this is round. Trace that thing. Seeing like a real life size representation, you know, really helps the process along. How's that look?
Yeah, it's perfect. It really is. You can see a little bit of your knee, see your leg a little bit.
Feels comfortable. It's like you're here and then you see somebody you don't want to see. Well, that settles it. Next step is to take the template and transfer it to the wood, you know, full size, full strength, and it's really gonna flesh this thing out. My favorite part of the project is like the first 10 minutes of it, right? Where you just bring that idea to reality. I think that's our line, man. I'm digging it.
I like the round. The round says hot rod to me.
Yeah, once we were talking about C-cab, I'm like, oh yeah, just like wide open. You know, if it was a delivery vehicle, no doors or anything, you just hop in and hop out. Prepare to enter the C-cab. Yep, looks difficult to get in. That makes it a show car. Oh yeah.
Beep, beep.
It doesn't matter if I fit in it. I don't even concern myself with that stuff. I got something here from Speedway that's gonna seal the deal. It's exactly what every Model T needs. Aha. Perfect.
I love it, yes.
We got the look, we got the sound, we are on our way. Now that we have the template, we'll transfer it to our final skin and complete the structure. Because this is a transition, this is gonna be like a subframe inside the roof, and then the actual body will go around this. It's time for the school glue. A big concern for me was how are we gonna put this thing together, right? So typically, you know, you put a nail in the wood or a screw and you see the head, and I'm like, no, this is more like furniture, like cabinet work. So I concocted this idea of a subframe or substructure inside, and then the fasteners were reversed. That looks like a C-cab roof, don't it? We gotta get in the business of furniture making, man. We could build a couch. Definitely in the cartoon realm, this is where I thrive. Oh yes. The absurdity is just beginning. I love it.
The roof line looks really good.
I got 2 words for this. Groovy. Let's put this insert in and see what happens then. Oh yeah, look, it fits the windshield perfect too. There's nothing like 3-dimensional representation, life size. This thing is way cooler than I thought when we hung up those boards on the rafters. It's big.
Looks like a Hot Wheels almost.
Oh yeah, totally cool. You know, I gotta say, the envisioning process and assembly of this went way smoother than expected. It's exactly what I was thinking. A little bit of nonsense and a lot of fashion. The C-cab's really coming along. Alan and I just followed through that same process, front to back. We laid it out, squared it up, screwed and glued the entire assembly together, then skinned the roof with masonite. So all that hard work led up to this. The construction of this thing is pretty much there. It's just now, what does it look like? From here up, I love it. From here down, I have concerns. I don't really like this tone. I don't want to drive this truck. And then I don't like this either. So, you know, Model Ts were black, and I'm thinking, well, I want a wooden body, and I don't want to really paint it. I got a little leftover auto paint, and I want to experiment. Experimentation is the spice of life, you know. Sometimes just taking a whisk, you get the reward. You could primer this thing and bodywork and do the whole deal, but I want it to look like a wooden body. It could just look like fiberglass, you know, when you're done. But I was thinking if I take a rag, kind of like staining, I could do a test piece, or I could just put it on the truck. I think I'm gonna go for the latter. Yeah, I like to go all in. No test piece, just go for it. Adapt, carry through. This is my process, you know, because either way, you did something. It's better than sitting there and doing nothing. I feel a little like Bob Ross, the master, right? And all this happy little wood grain, we're trying to enhance it. The vapors coming out of this auto paint bucket are really working for me. In a totally different mood. You know, I think I'm gonna try this on the side too. Part of the process is accepting the fact that every shot might not be a straight line to the finish. The things you can't plan for are usually, you know, in my opinion, the coolest thing ever. Well, I've achieved something. Black really did knock the yellow down. We still got 2 tones of finish. I like that. I think it still needs some development. I want to get this thing off the jack stands and on the ground. Now that I hit this positive note, I want to fix something that's just been on my mind. It's been bugging me since we started this thing. I've had these for years, and now I finally have a purpose for them. Wheels and tires are one of the big statements of the vehicle, right? It's like, well, what is it? Is it a cruiser? Is it a race car? Is it a monster truck? What is it? What is this thing? I'm asking you, what is this thing? These are 32 Ford rims and these cool Excelsior racing tires. The look of these rims is classic. I mean, imagine if I did this whole C-Cab project and left those dirt track tires on it all the way around. 4 good used tires. I think it's the perfect option. The big problem is the 32 Ford bolt pattern doesn't match the Model T and it doesn't match the Ford Pinto, but I got a plan. We got 3 different bolt patterns going on here. The Model T rims in the front, the Pinto rims in the back, and these 32 Ford rims, they're all different. I had my friends over at Send Cut Send. They're really cool. You send them a drawing of what you want, they cut it, and then they send it back. So it's perfect, laser cut, steel plate. They also set up the bolt patterns for me. This is the 32 Ford rim bolt pattern, and this is the Pinto bolt pattern. All I gotta do is start drilling. You gotta be careful with wheel adapters. You know, not all bolt patterns are meant to be paired together. So the 4-lug to 5-lug conversion gets a little tricky. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Is it gonna fit? This is one thing I was worried about. I'm glad it's not directly rubbing, but it's close. Exactly what I was looking for. Simple, clean, old-fashioned. What was on there was pretty weird. What's on there now is just right. The next challenge is the front. That Pinto engine is significantly bigger than what was there. So we got a couple problems, as usual. Sometimes when I'm deep in a project, I just wake up in the middle of the night, shocked and sweating. I had trouble sleeping last night. The typical thing, the big question mark, what to do about this paint job. I came out here first thing in my nightcap and socks. And I sprayed that side black, and I gotta say I'm happy with it. Am I compromising the airflow from this fan? Absolutely. Is it gonna overheat? That's hot rodding. So it looks like it's gonna work. And you know, the only thing that's gonna tell is testing it. But man, if I rev this thing and it starts nipping on the radiator, that could be the end of it. Ooh, ah. Even in 1923, the engineering and the thought, it was preparing this car for the rough roads ahead. And I'll tell you, this hardware is pretty interesting. It's like a suspension for the radiator. I just think it's so cool because it's like the simplest form of suspension. The way it's laid out with the springs, it's gonna stay where you put it and it's gonna hop around a little without destroying itself. So if this thing does go bouncing around on desert, you got a little shimmy to the shake. So this looks good for sure, it'll cool it. But I'm looking for something a little bit more like the Model T, you know? That aluminum is way too bright. I know just what to do. All of a sudden, period correct. Look at that. That looks old-fashioned, wouldn't you say? The big stickler in selling the antique look is keeping this hood in place. Nobody sees what's going on in the engine, you know, the sleeper factor. This is where our problem begins. And that, so if we were to scrub a line straight through, you got an alternator bracket, got an intake manifold, we got a dipstick. So it looks to me like we're gonna have to cut that hood pretty good. That's not very stealthy in my opinion. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Desperate times call for desperate measures. There's no way this thing is going without a hood. See, I got that dipstick tucked out of the way, no problemo. If you're an auto purist and somehow made it this far in the show, I suggest you cover your eyes. It's about to get real. You know what that means? I'm gonna have to cut into this original hood, and I ain't scared. Okay, maybe I'm not that nervous, but I do feel a slight tug on the nostalgia heartstrings. Scratch the paintwork. Aha! What's going on in that Model T? It's just a matter of chipping away at all these culprits. You know, some stuff can stay, some stuff can be modified, but this alternator is a major factor. Who'd have thunk? Actually makes them a little more aggressive. That's gonna work. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the end for these two things, but I wanna put these headlights on to see how they look. It looks like all the mechanical stuff is gonna clear. We'll see what this develops into. The headlights are gonna tell me. I think this is gonna seal the deal on the front end. These two prime specimens. These are the real deal Model T lamps. They look like they belong there. It's actually a Model T. Nobody knows that there's a Pinto in there. I love it. The final element, the crown jewel. Thing that says you're meant to ride like the wind. Everything's lining up. I'm putting the final trim parts on this and something, it just needs a little bit something. I've been struggling with this. You know what they say, it ain't over till it's over. And it ain't over yet. It's getting close to drive time. It's gonna be a wild ride. Moving right along on this buggy, you know, we're getting all the little things in place. We got rid of all that yellow wood tone. Everything's painted black. Getting the wiring progressed. It's almost ready to go down the road. There's just one final thing. We've been busy. This Pinto engine's a little bit more modern than the Model T, so I added a fuse block. And one cool thing I'm doing is I'm routing it all into the stock dash. So it's pretty groovy. The original key will actually start it. It's pretty neat, these old-fashioned switches. I was able to open it up, find out what terminal matched to what, and I just wired it in place of the other stuff. But it's not all daisies in custom buggy land. But sitting back here looking at it, it's like, man, what else could I possibly do? I think the sides are just a little too bland. It's just a real big panel. You know, there's a lot of action with the hardware on the windshield, with the lights, you know, the way that the running boards, it's all very dimensional. And then you have this long, flat side. It's like it needs something. Everything's fair game when I'm working on a new project. That's kind of sacrilege. This would drive people nuts. I just might do that. This one might actually fly. I mean, it's only natural, you know, when the shop is full of signage and you're looking for some kind of element on the side of this thing, it's like, hey, what about a sign? That'd be pretty groovy. Thing is, this is a pretty classy rig, right? So to comic it up, you know, to put something funny on it just might not fit. I'm thinking conservative. We can mark this day in history. That's right, I said it needs something conservative. I started thinking oval, like an oval window. It's like, well, it's a Ford, and you know, Ford is a blue oval, right? I mean, I got this sign, and it's definitely more appropriate than the Chevy rectangle, right? I'm not really feeling the blue, but still the old envisioning device. That works. I like that. It needs to be antique, you know, and that's the right script. It's old school, Ford, you know? It's like headlights had it. It was on the grill shell. I just think hanging a sign on the side is gonna be a little bit like not what I'm looking for. I got an idea that just might enhance it a little bit. Check this out. The Ford oval, right? It's not complicated. It fits the bill. It's the iconic emblem. Why wouldn't it be there? It's gonna take a little something to fit it up, but I think it's a good progress point. You know, I was thinking from the start, like an oval window, and I was like, why would it need a window? But you could see that would play, for sure. Just like making a custom bumper or a chop top, you know, the modification should look like it belongs, like it was always there. That was a little dustier than expected. But I think that this edge is gonna be really set off if I make it black, like that. I think we can kill two birds with one stone here. I definitely need a piece that's gonna support the signage, but I think we could also enhance the look of the interior with the same panel. Kind of a double whammy. Yeah, see, nice and clean. It just gives that interior like some kind of like reason. I really want this to look like a picture frame, you know? It's really amplify the fact that it's inset, so by painting the edge, it's gonna draw your eye inward towards the sign. I like it, but the blue's still bugging me. If you don't like it, spray it black. That's my motto for this vintage vehicle. Getting rid of the blue really helps. What if I took that part back? It's like I kind of like having it look like brush strokes like that. Kind of looks almost hand-painted if I just do it like that. It's super antiqued. Finger painting, it's not just for kindergarten. I couldn't have hoped for better on that sign. You could see it's that oval shape, it's recessed, and it looks antique. It looks good. The whole thing here is, you know, this is the artist's canvas, right? There's bound to be a little overspray. We'll work through all that in the end. I made that template to duplicate it on the other side. I'm gonna do the same process. A few more minor details and this chuck wagon is ready to chuck, or something like that. We got this Model T project finished up and in gear. My favorite thing about it is just that old time feel. I dubbed the Mr. T. I pity the fool that doesn't like this car. I mean, this thing is a pretty unique mashup. It feels like an antique car, exactly what I was looking for. Thing was, I started just with the idea, right? 27 ranch truck. Once Alan and I started collaborating, you know, we got the plywood out, we got some 2x4s out, and really we developed the look of this C-cab body, and I gotta say, it's beyond my expectation. It's got the old Model T steering column, Model T switches, a little old, a little new. It's definitely got the flavor. A huge part of this was the visual statement it's gonna make, and my friend Gilbert, the pinstripe master, he came by and did his number to the sides of this thing, and it's perfect. I didn't want to get into this restoration. I just want it to be functional, and everything I added to it, I want to make it count. It's got the big giant eyeball headlights in the front. It looks like a classic vehicle, but it's got a little trick underneath. I got it wired up, I got it fired up. Now it's time for the true test. This thing is engineered to cross the Great Desert and go all the way to the market. Taking it for the shakedown run, no surprises, fortunately. Reliability of this engine transplant, smooth, hard acceleration, not all the gadgets you gotta do with the Model T. Pinto power. Thing drives awesome. I was super surprised because that Pinto was pretty busted. Wait till we hit second. Whoa. The driving experience of something like this on a dirt road is just mind-numbing. It's teeth-chattering. Old school. You take a corner, you're going across the seat. It barely stops because there's only rear brakes. It's got way too much power for the whole thing. It's over the ruts, it goes in the berms, over freaking mud piles. It's a heck of a ride. No stoplights, no seat belts, nothing between you and your destiny but this plate glass window. My first statement was, I want a ranch truck, right? Of course, do I do anything that's absolutely functional? Heck no. And I was allowed to do exactly what I want, and that was wing it. I had all these components, I had an idea how they could be retrofitted together, and I just went for it. Sort of an experiment with a strong reward. And man, Model T, it's definitely a cool rig.